Okay, hi everyone, welcome back. And in this update, we are going to check out AVAX's price chart and see what is happening in the short term. But before we get into all that, we are going to talk about some very interesting stuff. And in case you're not really active on Twitter, you should note we recently had some fresh data coming out about developer activity on the network, and the numbers in here, in my view, are very bullish. You see, these stats, in my opinion, show that the growth is actually coming from people who are actually building things on Avalanche. And the first number in here is this 20x increase in Builder Hub accounts. This basically, in my view, means that way more developers are right now joining AVAX's official builder program, and they are using the tools, documentation, and also the support that team provides. Now, a jump like that usually, I think, shows that onboarding experience has actually improved quite a bit, and also developers find it quite valuable to work on Avalanche. And this, in my view, is a very important metric indicating, yup, the chain is fully alive and absolutely working. Now, the next important on-chain metric is actually this 400,000 plus unique contract deployers, and that is like a lot of individual people writing and also deploying small contracts. And the key point in my view here is the decentralization of development. See, this isn't really just one huge team deploying thousands of contracts on Avalanche. No, it's actually a huge number of distinct contributors pushing code on chain. And again, this is yet another very important bullish sign indicating the chain is absolutely alive and working. Now, another very strong metric in here is the 700,000 plus verified contracts. And essentially, verification means that developers are making their code public and auditable. And that is, in my opinion, a good sign for transparency and security, because verified contracts makes it like much easier for users to trust what they are interacting with. And finally, in the last metric, we got more than 550 tracked projects, and this gives us, in my view, a great picture of just how broad the Avalanche ecosystem has become. The projects span different categories. For example, maybe they are working on DeFi, some of them probably are working on gaming, some of them on infrastructure, some others maybe on enterprise, so on and so forth. And a diverse set of projects usually leads to more resilient ecosystem, which is what we love to see. Now, you might ask, well, okay, why do we care about these numbers? Because developer growth is actually one of like the strongest indicators of long-term success for any blockchain, and builders create application. And here's a question: who is going to exactly use those apps? You know it, they called users. So here is what's going on in my mind. As we are seeing more and more applications being built on Avalanche, this, in my opinion, shows that we actually have a lot more adoption from retail, and a lot more people are using the chain. Because if you are a developer and you want to build an application, naturally you are going to pay attention to the chains with the most users. And the fact that we are seeing this much developer activity definitely, in my view, shows that developers are actually thinking that AVAX does have a lot of users. Now, you might ask, well, okay, why is this important? Because right now, the price of Avalanche isn't really that high. And around the lows, as we are having maybe just more moves on the downside in the short term, I am actually looking for data in any project, not just AVAX, to suggest that, yup, the chain is fully alive and fundamental wise, we are on track. If I find a chain like that, which one great example of it is definitely Avalanche, one others can be Polygon, then okay, right around the lows, because I'm a bit of fair value investor, I'm just going to buy the dip one by one, because I do think that by the end of this cycle, we are going to witness some great moves on the upside. And I don't really believe that all altcoins are going to go up equally. No, I think the project with solid fundamentals are going to be the ones that are going to perform really well. And to me, AVAX is definitely one of those projects alongside a couple of others. Now, what is happening on the live chart? Again, we are definitely, in my view, around the lows, And from this point moving forward, odds or downsides are actually quite limited. That's why right around these areas, I am willing to buy a lot of Avalanche, and I have been buying quite a bit of AVAX starting from these areas. And having said that, I still fully understand that maybe we are going to go for another 20 to even according like the most pessimistic scenario, 50% move on the downside. Those from my point of view, since fundamental wise we are on the right track, those are just great buying opportunities for the mid to long term. Now, in terms of what is happening in like very short term, if you remember the last time that we talked about AVAX, excuse me, let's zoom in more, we were, I believe, right around these areas, and the idea was that, well, okay, since in this phase down we took the loss, now this cannot really be an impulsive structure, and instead we just have to be a little bit more patient and see, are we going to have a great 5-wave on the upside or not? Why do we care about a 5-wave? Because in case you are a new viewer of the channel, you should know that my field of works is Elios waves, and in terms of Elios waves, if you want to argue maybe we're gonna have around here our final low, then okay, from the lowest point you have to be able to find in the recent phase up a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave. And what is happening right now? Let's zoom in more. Okay, so I think we are sort of kind of able to argue that maybe this is like a 1, 2, probably I'm gonna say wave 3 to about here, correction for 4, another move on the upside into our wave 5. So the fact that you might be able to find an impulse off of the lows can be an optimistic sign, but may I suggest right now, don't be overwhelmingly optimistic. Why? Because on the other hand, this does seem to be quite a strong and sharp move on the downside, and this is not a characteristic of a correction structure. So what's going on in my mind? You see, alongside a 5-wave, there's also a chance that maybe as opposed to an impulse, this is going to be like a WXY in form of a double zigzag structure, and this thing actually is suggesting that our move down in Avalanche, unfortunately for like very short term, is not over yet, and we may have something like this, maybe a wave 1, maybe wave 2, and then what's next? Decent move down into wave 3, 4, 5 in order to get to about this very important area of support between 10.2 to about $11.1, and I do think there's like a very high chance that in Avalanche we are going to around these areas hit the lows. That's again why I'm buying the dips quite a lot at the moment. Now, is there a sign in here which based on it we can argue maybe the bottom is in, or maybe we are going to have a rather strong move on the downside? I think the answer might be yes. First things first, let's go on weekly time frame, zoom in a little bit more and see what is going on in terms of indicators. As you can see in MACD in weekly chart, we still have this sell signal, which is not ideal. And in a stock RSI, let's just do this. Okay, we do have a bit of a buy signal, which happened about 2 weeks ago. So technically, this isn't actually that much of a bad sign. However, may I suggest, if you do not care about the short-term price action, just be a bit more patient and see, are we going to have a great move up in the next couple of weeks? And are we going to also see a buy signal in MACD? If we do this, at the same time, I'm willing to bet that we are going to also be above this very important level, and that can definitely be my books at least be another very good sign indicating hopefully the low is set. So right now, sure, we are seeing some early optimistic signs, but it's a little bit too soon to be completely bullish. And what is happening in daily time frame? Okay, in stock RSI, we are having a sell signal, but in MACD, this is a buy. So essentially, we are having pretty much the opposite situation that we had in weekly chart. And again, message is the same. Just be a bit more patient and see, are we going to get in these two indicators at the same time, buy signals, and at the same time, are we going to finally reclaim this important level? Now, the most important sign, in my view, that you need to pay full attention to if you want to know what might be next actually comes down to what's happening in MACD in H4 time frame. Why is that? You see, if I just hide everything, let's just stretch the charts. There we go. As you can see, by like a very small margin, this point right in here is the lowest low. So essentially, you're having a low. The other one is a lower low. But pay attention, in match D, what do we have? This is a low. However, the other one is actually a higher low. So I think we do have a decent looking bullish divergence, which usually happens actually around the lows. So technically, yes, absolutely, this can be an optimistic sign. Now, if you are a believer on maybe another strong move on the downside in AVAX, okay, I think this is actually the signal to pay attention to. Why? Because although sure, a bullish divergence is definitely an awesome sign, however, going down and getting a break of the divergence line is definitely not going to be a good sign, indicating our move down at that point in Avalanche is going to continue at quite a bit of a rapid pace, and the next target is going to be about, let's say, 20-25% lower, around maybe even like the lower band of this region, about $10 region. So if you want to be bullish in Avalanche around the current area and you want to say the final low hopefully is in, then okay, we should under any kind of circumstances not get a break of the divergence line. On the other hand, if you want to be bearish, you have to see AVAX getting a break of this line, and at that point, again, our move down is going to continue quite a bit. As long as we are not breaking the divergence line though, let's hope that maybe on a higher degree, excuse me, let's just delete the drawings in here. There we go. Let's hope that on a higher degree in terms of Helios waves, this is 1, this is 2, and then we're going to have a great move up into wave 3, 4, 5. And I would like to suggest, at least for like very short term, pay attention to this potential, not confirmed yet, but definitely potential head and shoulders structure. And when will it get confirmed? When we get a break of the next line, meaning we go above this line about, let's say, $14.50, do a pullback, and then get a continuation of the move up in order to take the highs. If we do this at that point, I think we can be bullish in AVAX with a little bit more confidence. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in Avalanche. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time with your family and loved ones. Goodbye.